First of all, thank you all for coming, and then thank you all for waiting, and I hope you enjoy the interim. Woo! Okay, so I first want to thank everybody again for coming, but also just for being part of my life. I really feel like everybody here I've had genuine human connection with every time I see you, and I'm ineffably grateful that you all are here. And I just want to give you a little bit of context as to what's going on. So I think a lot, I write a lot, I feel a lot, I do a lot. And so this is just kind of a culmination of some of the things I've been writing about, thinking about, doing, thinking about, doing, and just to share with everybody here who I feel like know me very well, but some in just certain contexts. And so this might give a sort of 360 view of things that are going on in my head. And my intention right now is to entertain you all and to maybe help you all get a little bit lost in some magic and wonder, and maybe, out of your poopy diapers if you came wearing one. Okay, and can everybody just close your eyes? Take a deep breath and exhale. Inhale. Notice if you're holding any tension, any sense of anticipation, any obligations you got going on, spinning around through your messy, messy mind. Try to exhale, let it settle a little bit more. Inhale, feel the night's air come into your nose. Nothing exists but this. Exhale, empty. Let's get ready to have a good time.
Once upon a time, at the very beginning of time, there was the universe. And the universe was just one big ball of clay. That's it. What? Should I keep going? Okay. Well, I guess I could tell you a little bit about it, I guess, if I have more time. So if you look a little closer, you'll see this isn't any ordinary clay. Now this clay is the whole universe. So this contains everything. Every animal, vegetable, mineral, you name it or not, it was still there. And all these things joined together in the best dance party in literally the entire universe. Just bumping to some music, everything there just dancing together for always and eternity. The end. Boo! Yeah, boo! What is this, Blue's Clues? Yeah, what is this, Blue's Clues? Where's the big son that's also a baby? Yeah, where's the big baby son? Tell us about the lumps. Yeah, we want to know about the lumps. Tell us about the lumps. Okay. Sorry, I didn't think you guys would want to hear about the lumps. And that was the Teletubbies, the baby son. Okay, so the beginning is the same. The beginning is the same. So we had the Play-Doh, and everything was in it. Clay, dancing together, one big dance party. And, obviously when you have everything dancing together all the time, every possible combination of dance partners happens at some point. So, one moment in all of eternity, a trio started to dance together, a pair of goggles, some saran wrap, and a gun. And, what a big deal. Nothing normally the universe should worry about. But for this particular combination, at this particular moment in time, something weird started to happen in the clay. You see, a hole started to form, started to rip in the clay, and at the very bottom of this hole started to form a lump. This lump looked around, and it saw the hole it was in. It looked at itself, and it saw it was all alone. And so it took a clump from its side lump, and it made itself another lump. It gave lump number 2 its own set of goggles, and now, no longer preoccupied with their own loneliness, they began to look around the hole. Now, if you look, you'll see that their goggles are indeed a peculiar combination of saran wrap, goggle, and gun. And so, the universe has never seen anything much like this, ever. Whenever the lumps focus their gaze on something incredible happens. Their goggles shoot out plastic wrap and wrap the first thing it comes into contact with. The lumps even wrapped one another. They began to look around the clay at the things dancing along the edge of the hole and wrap those things. You can't see, but it says lump 5. The lumps were really happy with what was going on. They just started to make more and more lumps, wrapping them as they please. And as you can imagine, I am sure, all this plastic made things very difficult to hear, especially the music coming from the Universal Dance Party. Let me tell you, all it sounded like was noise. And these lumps freaked out. They had no idea where this noise could possibly be coming from. They looked around wildly for the noise, but they couldn't find it. They couldn't find the source, and they couldn't wrap it. And now let me tell you, the lumps cannot stand it when they cannot wrap something. Cannot stand it. But the lumps are very clever. They decided, as a committee, to wrap their inability to wrap this noise and call it God. So they were able to put all their inexplicables into this wrap, and it made things a lot easier. God was the explanation for all things. The bad things, the droughts, the good things, the great things, and the really, really bad things. And so, with this, the universe had time, and the lumps had time for things like agriculture and coloring. And the lumps lived happily ever after, all together as one. The end.
What? Yeah, I got one word to say to you. Yeah. What? I don't get it. That makes no sense. Yeah, not a lick. You didn't mention, not once, not a single mention of the Gutenberg. What kind of history is this? Yeah. Oh, let me show this broad how it's done.
Okay. So, yeah. The first part's the same. You got the play. You got the Play-Doh, you go looking, dancing. You got some guns, you got some goggles, you got some plastic, blah, blah, blah. You look around, you take some clumps, and you make another friend, and then there's 2 friends, and then they're wrapping everything. And it's God. I forgot about the drought. Oh my God. Gotta go back. Now, what this broad failed to tell you is another crucial part of the lump anatomy. Now, as you can see here in figure 1.1, we have a coronal view of the lump's forehead. Now, you'll see this right there. Right the space right above their goggles, where their goggles cannot look. I mean, you all try.
Try to look at your own forehead. You freaking can't, right? You all look stupid. That's where the plastic couldn't reach. And so a little bit of the clay was still open to the universe. So the music could get in. It could vibe with the clay. It wasn't as muffled. It wasn't as noisy. And now this Schmai had a special ability. Just as the guns and the goggles could shoot out plastic wrap, the Schmai could suck in plastic wrap off of things. Here's an application, figure 2A, of the Schmai in the wild. The first stage is the target selection. The Schmai initiation begins. The plastic wrap begins to come off. No tree. And then, as you've already seen, if the lump wanted to, it could begin the second stage, blah, blah, blah. The plastic begins to come out of the eyes, and then something new is wrapped like paper, right? And, you know, this was really, really a great innovation for the lump's anatomy because you could have something that wasn't necessarily wrapped correctly the first way, and you can suck off that wrapping, and you can let its clay vibe out to the universe, and you can have a happy cactus, right? And this allowed lumps for a little bit of self-correction. Now, what this broad also failed to mention is all the other things that were happening meanwhile with this God situation. Now, while lumps all over the hole had some sort of God package where they put all the things they couldn't explain, they didn't always wrap it the same way. Not all the clay was in with the same things, and you beat the bat the boots, and so there was a lot of wars. And lumps would rip other lumps open, and clay would be everywhere. It would be disgusting. One such debate was over whether or not these lumps were in a hole or on a table. And then at some point, 2 lumps gave another lump some money to go figure out the answer to this debate. As you might have heard, Christopher Columbus did indeed find out that we were in a hole. Now, this seemed a little bit willy-nilly and a little bit unfair. Lumps began to question why on earth people would be able to wrap things just because they got there first. What if we got it wrong the first time, right? We shouldn't just be ostracized and guillotined or forced to live with the Pope. This is Galileo. Just because we want to see why somebody wrapped something the way they wrapped it, okay? So again, a lump committee formed, and they started talking, and they said, we can't do this anymore. We can't do it with the whole God situation. It's not working. There's no way to prove what it is people are saying. We got to optimize how we wrap these things. Let's replace it with a system of facts. Now, facts and God ended up serving the same purpose ultimately. However, facts had a different crucial assumption. While God was just where the lumps dumped all their inexplicables, everything that they couldn't wrap, facts still allowed for mystery. However, facts didn't really believe there was such a thing as something unwrappable. It was only a matter of time before some smart scientist wrapped it, unwrapped what we had, and started wrapping it again, or maybe some smartest would help us rewrap something, right? So this gave lumps a lot of time for other things, to focus on wrapping themselves. And then a bunch of facts started coming. Facts begot more facts, begot more facts, begot more facts. You had scientists, you had smartest, you had philosophlumps all over the whole, helping produce facts. And then these facts could spread. And this period was called the Enlightened Lump. And the Enlightened Lump was even perpetuated by inventions like the printing press. Facts were all over the whole. And then you had philosophlumps. Rene de Lumpier in his meditations. And then the lumps started writing their own autobiography. With a lump Shakespeare. And lumps began digging, because facts needed artifacts, let me tell you. And so they got around in the dirt, and they found a bunch of old goggles, and they figured that these goggles must have belonged to some Neanderlumps a long, long time ago. You can see they're a little bit more stout than the modern lump. And then with time, the lump got a little more top-heavy, right? And we see the rising of the Cro-Magnon lump, which eventually came what we know as the model lump. Now, the model lump is so smart, and uses a lot of facts. Everything is going to be figured out sooner or later by one of these scientists, one of these smart lumps. And facts require things called numbers, which, let me tell you, are too complex for me to explain here to all you humans. Just trust me when I say, if you ever see a lump that speaks numbers, just listen to him, all right? Knows what he's talking about. You can't explain it. Even if I did have enough time, you probably still wouldn't understand numbers. But lumps that understand numbers deserve respect, okay? This lump used to be a janitor. Our lump Einstein. Anybody know what lump this is? Does look like an egg, but it's Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs, he invented the Apple computer. It was hard, there's no L's in his name. So lumps began to fixate on themselves and figuring out how to wrap themselves instead of focusing on wrapping other things or getting unwrapped in this whole debacle. Now that's the history of the lumps. That's the history of the universe. The end. Bing, bang, boom. That's how you do it. Hey! Okay. Can we play a game? Yeah. Okay. I need 3 volunteers, please. Oh, don't all of you come up at once. Oh, my golly. Let's see, I can just, thank you, please come. Thank you, please come. Thank you, please come. Thank you, please come. We're gonna play more than 3. Family Feud! We need to even out these families, y'all. We need to even out these families. One more person for this family over here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Allison. It's time to play. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So, okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Tack. Thank you, Tack. So,
You can see we have our 2 families up here. Are you guys ready to play some fun right now?
yes.
Yeah.
So, what's your family name? You confer as well. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What's your family name?
We're the Lumpettes.
Okay.
Schlumpelstiltskins.
The Schlumpelstiltskins. So we have the Lumpettes versus the Schlumpelstiltskins here on Family Feud, the one, the only. Okay. Each family must select a representative. Thank you all for not sitting in the front row, by the way, because now I have a bunch of space. Okay. Representative. So we all know how this works. You're going to get the topic. You're going to list one of the things that you think are on the top 3 of this topic. You're going to ring the buzzer. Then, whatever team gets the buzzer first and answers correctly gets me. If you ring the buzzer and you get it incorrectly, you don't get me. Are you ready for the topic? Mm-hmm. The topic is, we did a survey before, and we talked to God near a burning bush. What are the 3 top commandments he gave us? Yes, Lumpette.
Please don't kill.
Please don't kill. That is not one of the top 3 commandments. I'm going to the other team. So we go over to the family, the Schlumpelstiltskins. Don't worry, if they get one wrong as well, I'll be back, Lumpettes. You don't get to choose who goes first, and you're not allowed to confer. Also, anyone who went to Catholic school, keep your mouth shut. What's your name? Schleifer. Where are you from?
Pennsylvania. Very unbelievable location.
Yeah. Okay. What are the top 3 commandments, please?
Do not steal.
Lumpettes. How you doing?
Great.
What's your name?
Allison.
Allison! Let's give it up for Allison.
Boston.
Boston! Let's give it up for Boston. Okay, Allison, let's cut right to the chase. What's one of the top 3 commandments?
No adultery.
No adultery. Schlump Silkskins. Wait, what's your name?
Paul.
Paul, great, really realistic fake name.
Thank you.
All right, what's one of the top 3 commandments?
Do not disrespect your elders.
It's in the top half. Does that? I didn't mention this before we started, but I was only going to give each team 2 X's, but I think we're already at 2 X's, so we'll do 3. Yes, you already went. Oh,
she knows.
I know who you are. Hello, Lumpet. What's your first name, Lumpet? Valumpa. Valumpa. It's nice to meet you, Valumpa. Would you like to throw down one of these top 3 commandments? Yes.
Honor the Sabbath day.
I'm back.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Hit me up.
No gods before me.
Oh my golly gee. That's the big kahuna.
Yes.
Rah! Hold on one second, please. Dun, 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 dun. It's a great Sharpie work, huh? Oh yeah. Wow. By a thread. I just gave you a whole extra life, and now you're making the most of it. I love it. Who thinks Allison's gonna get it? No! Who was too uncomfortable to put Allison on the spot?
Love thy neighbor as you love thyself.
Oh, that was a different testament. What's that, girl?
Don't say my name in vain.
Oh my God! Let's get. Can we say that's a tie?
No.
Yeah.
They got a negative. They got a negative.
Let's give it up for both of them and have them confer afterwards. Thank you, Allison. Thank you, Lumpet. Thank you, Schlumpelstiltskin. Thank you, Valumpa. Thank you. Not an L in her name. There's not an L. It's hard. It's hard when there's no L. So, well, I kind of knew. I kind of knew because, you know, I spent some time myself. Interesting. A message from God. We'll let with good time. So, I was thinking, right, when we mentioned the whole situation with the lumps, thinking about themselves and figuring out how to wrap themselves and all that stuff. One more time. Hey, yeah, see, lumps can only wrap themselves. We got a bunch of time to do it. I was thinking, I myself am guilty of going to a factory. And at this factory, you know, you learn to value things like facts above things like God. You think, prove it. That's what you think. You go there and you think you learn how to use your Shema. You think numbers are better than things like drought, which, I mean, literally maybe might be true. But nevertheless, I don't think numbers are everything, because we got it wrong once, maybe we'll get it wrong again. Where's the clay? Where's the clay? Because for all this schmiance talk, I think a lot of things were still wrapped pretty wrong. There was a lot of plastic everywhere. Let me tell you, things got noisy. These lumps were freaking out just like the lumps prior to that first committee I was talking about. They were freaking out left and right at the factory. They thought they were spiritual but not religious. But let me tell you, I didn't hear the clay not a single day while I was there. Not a single day. And you think your cactus is going to look like that when you say spiritual but not religious. But these were the cactuses I saw. Cacti. So sorry. And, you know, you look at the lumps. This is a day in the life of one of these factory lumps. A day in the life. Where's the clay? I don't know. Where's the clay? Here. A tree fell on the telelump wires. Where's the clay? A flood. Devastating. I don't think the clay is here. Not here, Fido. Not now. Lumps went to lump Costco's where everything was pre-wrapped. Looking desperately, they felt the music. They felt the music inside, but they didn't know what it was. All they heard was noise, and they thought the solution was more things wrapped. And sadly, a lot of them didn't even wrap it for themselves anymore. They had to do crazy things to feel the clay on the inside, just to get the clay bumping. They would go to museums, you can't see, but that's a sarcophagus. And it helped lumps tap back into their ancient rhythms, make them feel part of history, something bigger than themselves. They would see Marlon Brando, and see another lumps like this, like Bradley Cooper at the music, made them feel a little bit alive. It wasn't 100% spiritual, but let me tell you, these lumps went to things like this religiously. This is a bunch of lumps at a lump cycle class. Some lumps go daily, just to feel a little bit more alive, just to feel the music just a little bit more. So I would say they are indeed religious, but not at all spiritual. Where's the clay? Now I want to tell you something. I mean, the factory is not all bad. You learn some cool facts. So one of them is this idea of the uncanny valley, which is a term coined by roboticists, but I'm going to use it here. And it refers to that point where a robot's cute, oh, Wally's so cute, and then all of a sudden it's creepy ex machina, right? It's that deep drop. You look here, right here horizontally. I didn't make this, by the way, so this is not supposed to be a joke. This is supposed to be schmiance. So along this way is how much it looks like a human. All the way to the left, not human, industrial robot. All the way to the right, healthy person. And then this, vertically, is how much we like them. So as you can see, the more humanoid it looks, put some eyes on it, googly eyes, we like it, boom. Once it hits 88% human, not only do we no longer like it, we actively dislike it. We want it to get the heck away from us. And then, once we get back to like 95% human, we'll start to like it again. So as you can look here, at least 95%, right? 89. Creepy. Get it away from me, right? You know, we see it here with toasters, toaster models. Toaster, I don't like it or dislike it, kind of neutral. Oh, it's cute. 60%. Then it's Jay Leno's face on your toaster. No thanks, can I say. Halle Berry, 10 out of 10. 100% that's a woman. Wax Halle Berry. Still a 10 out of 10, but clearly about 90%, right? So we just have that little juice. It's not always the more, the better. It's not always the more we try, the more we like it. There's an area where it's just unnatural how hard we're trying. And then on the other side of that valley is just natural. It's just human. It's just the way we're born. And that's the way I think a lot about the lumps. So at Shmael, you have a lot of things like facts and things that are basically covered in plastic, which I love. I love. They're so entertaining. I love facts. I love the factory. I really did. But it wasn't everything, and you saw these lumps scrambling around trying to get some sort of, I don't know, ability to use their schmai better. But a lot of their schmais were just closed up, and they were just throwing around packages that were already wrapped for them, and they called that talking. And they didn't really use their schmai, not even the schmientists I met. Some of the smartists, they mostly used their goggles, and a lot of the time they didn't even use their own. So, I don't really need to look at a factory or look at schmientists to know how to use my schmai. I was born knowing how to use my schmai. This is me as a baby. We've all seen babies do the schmaiing. You give a baby a toy, it schmais it and makes it food. You give a baby food, it schmais it and makes it a toy. We know how to do this. In our bones, we know how to do this. And, you know, for all this talk about humans and lumps, I think they're kind of similar. Being so smart. I don't see anything like that there. I don't see any reason. I don't see rationality. I don't see schmiance or beyond. What do I see? I see humanity. I see humility. Humble. I see humane. See humor. And then from there, you can maybe have a little love. That's what I see when I think about what it means to be human. Not being able to wrap something or schmai something, but just knowing that the clay exists. And another thing that they teach you at the factory is this idea that what you see is the best. There was a historical, intergenerational fight between all of the most vicious animals and beasts and man is on top of this food chain. And we won the fight, and our dominance is bop, 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 keeping everyone there at the bottom, right? As if God was up there making the design, the grand design, and was just looking at these badass animals and was like, lions, we definitely need a king of the jungle. Tigers, we need a striped lion. Bears, yeah. And then God goes to take a pee-pee break, and then ostriches just sprint on past them into the universe. Pandas roll by. God comes back, doesn't even notice the sloth is still trying to make its way across. This survival of the fittest stuff doesn't make sense. What I see is not a bunch of individuals that have fought to the death to be here. I haven't seen dogs eating dogs. I have seen dogs taking care of dogs. I have seen humans taking care of dogs. I don't see what we see as a result of individuals. I see what we see as a result of a bunch of clay vibing out, okay? I don't think it's the survival of the fittest. We're all hurting each other just to get here. I think it's the thrival of those that were most loved, because it takes a community to raise a lump, and it takes the clay on the inside and outside, right? And yet, most of the time, we aren't really focused on that, because the survival of the fittest, the dogs are eating dogs. If you want to be a dog, you gotta eat a dog. This idea is that if we don't kill, we'll get killed, and this lives in scarcity. And so we begin to hoard these packages. We go to Costco. We go to the factory. We just get all these packages. We get all these packages, and we keep them for ourselves. And then any lump that serves out just a slow-cooked meal gets punished. Meanwhile, lumps that keep all the good stuff for themselves often get rewarded. And then dish out to others junk food and leftover love. So this brings me into one of my pieces, a poem called Leftover Love.
pounded as we sprinted away from our childhood home, collapsing and burning behind us. It was no longer safe, that much was clear. And at some point when we were running away, a part of me, just confused and terrified, turned around, looked back, and my angels stood on either side of me as I watched her transform into a pillar of salt. Crystals blew off her and danced in the wind. And my face grew hot. I was angry, I was sad, I was starved of justice. She didn't deserve that. She was afraid. She was a child. She didn't learn how to trust yet. She hadn't learned faith. Of course, she just couldn't run blindly away from the only home we've ever known without wondering first if maybe it was stronger than you had said. Maybe we didn't have to leave. With time, I began to wonder if that's what she saw. I still wonder. I wonder if she saw and turned to salt. Not because she looked back, but because she saw that you were wrong. And after that, daily, I watched you dish out love to so many, their bellies stuffed, and they licked their lips of your love. And I got the leftovers. I mean, they tasted awful. Not like the love you always talked about. I spit them out at first, but when I saw how angry that made you, I forced my jaw shut, and I forced my mouth to chew. It's funny. People always compliment my strong jawline, and the reason it's so refined is because I've been clutching it my whole life. It got bearable once I started to use salt. You see, salt enhances flavor, right? It brought out those hints of love that I heard you talk about, but I never tasted. It made things palatable. A dash of the oldest part of me who always believed in me. From the very beginning, I learned to take everything you serve me with a grain of salt. But I'm tired. And it's dry. And I hunger strike, and I'm too bitter to be polite. I won't take another bite of your leftover love. Your stressed out, stretched thin, leftover love. You can keep your goddamn leftover love. I've had enough. It makes me sick. It makes me sick. Your sugary sorries taste like arsenic. To answer cues, yes, yes. It does candy over like a syrupy sweet, but underneath it stinks of rotting meat. And I am tired of your dreams deferred and my voice unheard. Let's uncage this bird so I can sing my words. I don't want your leftover love. Your stressed out, stretched thin leftover love. You can keep your goddamn leftover love. I've had enough. You are lucky. You are lucky. You are so lucky that others loved me. You're so lucky I had my angels who kept my old self behind and gave me the salt to fortify me my whole life until I could feed myself. Now I'm fed up. You can keep your leftover love. Your stressed out, stretched thin leftover love. I don't want your leftover love. I've had enough. And they say, shit won't change until you get up and wash your ass, Emma. Shit won't change until you get up and wash your ass. Oh. You know what? I wasn't going to do this, but I'm gonna sing a song. Can I get some of this?
Yep.
If you know, join in. I'm looking at you. 1 second. Almost there. I'm a march on the regular. Tell the storm I'm new. Gonna rain on the thunder. Painting white flags blue. Lord forgive me, I've been running blind and true. I'm a march on the walk on the regular. Till the sweet I'm new. Till these tears gonna fall away. Ow. May the last one burn into flames. Freedom, where are you? Freedom, cut me loose. Hey, freedom, I need you. Yes, I need freedom too. Can't break these chains all by myself. Won't let my freedom rot in hell. Yeah. I'ma keep running cause a winner don't quit on herself. Yeah. Woo! And this next thing that is almost done is a little video that takes a little bit of the emotional journey that we just did. In my opinion. Do you need a mouse? He's better at this than I am. Shout out, there are several people in this video that are here right now. Guys, this isn't gonna work.
Oh no, get the sweet camera. Don't let it fall.
Dun dun dun.
Can you move this closer?
I have a great idea.
Yes.
I'm gonna hold it.
Okay, great.
Except you've touched something here.
It's Pat's plugged in.
It is plugged in.
Okay. Move this.
Move the what part?
Move this is as far as this is as far as this goes, so-
Talk amongst yourselves. Can you plug it? Yes! We didn't think about this. Clearly. I'm gonna make this comfortable for myself if we're gonna do this. Yeah. Dre,
Yeah. I gotta change.
thank you all. I don't think you can do this.
That man working hard.
Unless you want to. The table, you can just move the table forward if you want. It's just a little heavy for me. Thank you. Do you think it's gonna work? Do we think it's gonna work? Yes. Okay. No, it's like yes.
I'm Oprah Winfrey. I believe that one of the most valuable gifts you can give yourself.
Alright.
Everything.
Guys, pretend that this was 3 minutes ago.
Yes.
And I just said, we're gonna watch a little movie that takes the same journey that we talked to. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Yay, we're all together again, and Dre's gonna press play. It's gonna be
I'm Oprah Winfrey. I believe that one of the most valuable gifts you can give yourself is time. I believe that one of the most valuable gifts you can give yourself is I believe that one of the most valuable gifts you can give yourself is time.
too cowardly to eat our flesh, and so instead, soulless. We had 9 lives, and so this feast lasts forever. It's cowardly, but it's still cruel. My mother, that phenomenal feline, still wearing the emerald collar that they forced around her neck. She crawled into the closet of her captors, sweating into her fur, bleeding into the carpet, quivering behind her hair, forgotten dreams. And my mother brought me and my 4 siblings into this world. She roared out of violent ecstasy, and her humans, frightened by anything that reminded them of their own nature, ran to the now sacred ground, and they probably looked at the bloody scene with horror, tragically blind to the primordial beauty. And I imagined that in my mother's euphoria, she smelled their fear, and her mouth watered, her eyes dilated, and every muscle in her body became deliciously alive, and she laughed eyes with these captors, extended her claws and sank fangs into this placenta. Eventually she savored it, each and every bite glorious, sacred, every muscle of her jaw a dance of devotion. And she stained the white fur around her mouth with her blood, our blood, divinely dripping from her whiskers, and she wildly glanced at her captors, and her eyes said, "Look at me or don't look at me. I need neither. This club is yours, but me and my beloveds, we, beautiful and bloody, we are our own." You know, my mother was a house cat, and my grandmother was too. But my our great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother, that phenomenal was a lion.
Okay, awesome. So now that just brings me into my final little piece. Who knows what this is? I found it. A game of cat and mouse. So the flesh, the important part, the most important part, the thing that, do I need that? Oh, okay. I was like, I'm forgetting something. This is another little piece I made in contrast to the last one. It's been bopping in my head for a year, always incubating, writing itself, rewriting itself, transforming. And here it is today, crystallized in a moment of time. Who knows, next time you hear it, maybe it'll change. Okay. Crap! Oh snap, what's that? Oh, it's the daily grind of bone on bone from when you dealt with the devil. Remember? Your eyes for more time, your heart for more mind, more reason, less rhyme. Now your brain left blind. Well, you see x-rays, but you're stuck in a skeletal daze. So confused, your bones are fused and they stay creaking. You're stay freaking out about the future or what to do this weekend. Coffees and cocktails when you should be drinking the flesh. The drip, drip, the juice, the flesh. That drips when I let loose the flesh. Woo! The juice, juice, the drip, life. I find wine to sip, the flesh. The drip, drip, the juice, the flesh. That drips when I let loose the flesh. The juice, juice, the drip, life. I find wine to sip. Starved, frail, skin and bones pale. Nowhere to go, no room for an inhale. Bones bruise, bones break, and act as cast of your past mistakes. You're spiritual. Osteoporosis manifests as a neurosis. Scientists don't know how to fix this. The easiest way is a couple hugs and kisses. But you don't know that. So you take calcium for bones stronger, but forever young is feeling wronger and wronger. Ah! You can't take it much longer. Your life is bare bones. Of course you hunger the flesh. The drip, drip, the juice, the flesh. That drips when I let loose the flesh. The juice, juice, the drip, life. I find wine to sip. Skulls hoard all resources near. Skeletons stop piling like the end is always near. Ooh, they say, banish the beautiful over there. We're only being practical here. That's true. But what else is true is no one can threaten them, but no one connects with them. And in our smart hearts, we know what's wealth, what's health, what's self. If you're alone, cold, looking at laughs through a telescope, standing on a skeletal scaffold that don't even hold life whole. You're starving for soul, searching for the flesh. The drip, drip, the juice, the flesh. That drips when I let loose the flesh. The juice, juice, the drip. Life's I find wine to sip. You know the flesh. The fleshy flesh. Life's connective tissue. The hot blood when someone kisses you. The muscular love that makes someone miss you. The heart charge that sparks within you. You know. It's not bionic, it's ionic, electric love that passes quickums between you and me. I like my life thickums. You know, the fleshy flesh, the drippy drip, the juicy juice, I sippy sip. You know, the God gravy. You know, the flesh so flavory, salty, sweet, and savory. Ooh, mommy, peace out, Ramsey Flay Fieri. The flesh, it's got its own gravity, its own beauty beyond vanity. Reason without rationality and the most insane sanity. Oh, you're asking me, can I prove that it's real? Truth is, I can't. It proves itself when you feel. Proves we're more than hard stops and harsh starts. We're more than looks, checkbooks, and smarts. We're greater than the sum of our parts. We're flesh, we're blood, we're beating hearts. Yeah, we're flesh. We're drip, drip, the juice, we're flesh. That drips when we let loose, we're flesh. The juice, juice, the drip, life, a fine wine to sip. Hey.
Oh, yes.
Let's put the humans back in humane. Humility is sickening, humanity is result. Humor is the byproduct. Don't be a dry piece of jerky jerk. Thank you to everybody who helped, all the people who helped me survive and thrive. Thank you. You're dismissed. Take some food with you. A fine one.